America's national parks are treasures. They are havens of peace and beauty. From the towering redwoods of Yosemite to the sweeping vistas of the Grand Canyon, these protected spaces are home to a breathtaking diversity of life. But these parks are not just breathtaking landscapes, they are intricate ecosystems, carefully balanced over millennia. Each element, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, plays a vital role. However, this delicate balance is under threat. A silent invasion is underway, one that threatens the very existence of these national treasures. The invaders are not armies with guns and tanks, but something far subtler and in many ways more dangerous invasive species. These plants and animals introduced from other parts of the world are disrupting the delicate balance of nature, often with devastating consequences. Invasive species are non-native organisms that, when introduced to a new environment, spread rapidly and cause harm. They can arrive in many ways, sometimes accidentally through the transport of goods or the movement of people. Other times they are introduced intentionally, for example, as ornamental plants or for pest control, without understanding the long-term consequences. These invaders thrive because they often lack natural predators or diseases in their new environment. This allows them to outcompete native species for resources like food, water, and sunlight. Invasive plants can quickly take over vast areas, choking out native vegetation and altering entire ecosystems. Invasive animals can prey on native species, disrupt food webs, and spread diseases. The impacts of these invasions are far-reaching. Invasive species are not just an ecological problem, they are an economic one as well. The cost of managing and controlling these invaders is staggering, diverting resources away from other vital conservation efforts. The economic impacts extend far beyond park boundaries. Invasive species can affect agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and tourism, impacting livelihoods and industries across the country. The damage caused by invasive species can be difficult to quantify, but it is undoubtedly substantial. The loss of biodiversity, the disruption of ecosystem services, and the cost of control and management all contribute to a significant economic burden. The longer these invasions are allowed to continue, the greater the cost, both ecologically and economically. The fight against invasive species is not just about preserving the beauty of our national parks, it is about protecting our natural heritage, our economy, and our way of life.
Across the country, a dedicated army of park rangers, scientists, and volunteers are fighting back against these silent invaders. We are on the front lines of this battle, working tirelessly to detect, control, and eradicate invasive species.
Our work is often challenging and unglamorous, but it is essential to protecting the integrity of these national treasures. We employ a variety of strategies to combat invasive species. Early detection and rapid response are crucial.
Once an invasive species is identified, efforts are made to contain its spread and, if possible, eradicate it entirely. This might involve manual removal, targeted pesticide application, or the introduction of natural predators.
The fight against invasive species is a constant battle, requiring ongoing vigilance and adaptation. New invaders arrive every year, demanding new strategies and tireless efforts to protect these invaluable natural resources.
The Great Smoky Mountains National Park, a sanctuary of ancient forests and cascading waterfalls, is facing a serious threat: the balsam woolly adelgid.
This tiny insect, barely visible to the naked eye, is wreaking havoc on the park's iconic fir trees. Native to Asia, the balsam woolly adelgid was accidentally introduced to the United States in the early 20th century.
Since then, it has spread rapidly, decimating fir populations across the eastern United States. The adelgid feeds on the sap of fir trees, injecting a toxic saliva that disrupts the tree's ability to transport water and nutrients.
This leads to needle loss, branch dieback, and eventually, the death of the tree. The impact on the Great Smoky Mountains is profound. The park is home to one of the largest remaining stands of Fraser fir, a species particularly vulnerable to the adelgid.
Park authorities and scientists are working tirelessly to combat the adelgid. Efforts include releasing predatory beetles, applying insecticides, and identifying resistant strains of fir trees. The battle is far from over, but these dedicated individuals are determined to protect this iconic national park from this silent invader.
The threat posed by invasive species to our national parks is a stark reminder of our interconnectedness with the natural world. what happens in one part of the world can have profound consequences elsewhere. The fight against invasive species is not just a scientific or ecological issue, it is a societal one. It requires a collective effort, a commitment from individuals, communities, and governments to protect our natural heritage. We can all play a role in this fight. Educating ourselves about invasive species, making informed choices about the plants we grow in our gardens, and taking precautions when traveling to prevent the spread of these invaders are all important steps. Supporting organizations working to combat invasive species and advocating for policies that address this issue are crucial as well. The future of our national parks, and indeed the health of our planet, depends on our willingness to recognize and address this silent invasion.
The threat of invasive species extends far beyond the boundaries of our national parks. They are a growing problem in our own backyards, our local parks, and our communities. From the kudzu vines that engulf entire landscapes in the southeast, to the zebra mussels that clog waterways in the Great Lakes region, invasive species are impacting ecosystems and economies across the country. The fight against invasive species is not just the responsibility of park rangers and scientists. It is a responsibility we all share. By taking simple steps to prevent their introduction and spread, we can help protect the natural beauty and ecological integrity of our communities. We can all make a difference in this fight, educating ourselves about the invasive species in our area, choosing native plants for our gardens, and properly disposing of unwanted pets and aquarium plants are all simple but effective ways to help prevent the spread of these invaders. The silent invasion of invasive species is a challenge that demands our attention and action. It is a reminder that we are part of a complex and interconnected world, and our actions have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves. The fight to protect our national parks, our communities, and our planet from these invaders is a fight for our future. It is a fight that requires collaboration, innovation, and a deep respect for the natural world. It is a fight we can win, but only if we work together, recognizing our shared responsibility to protect the planet we all call home. The beauty and wonder of our national parks, the health of our ecosystems, and the well-being of future generations depend on our commitment to this fight. Let us rise to the challenge, armed with knowledge, determination, and a deep love for the natural world, and ensure that these national treasures are preserved for generations to come.